devs of Marvel Strike Force handled the errors correctly this week. We have the kit for Super Skrull announced. It looks to be one of the most insane characters ever released in Marvel Strike Force. There's a bunch of content creators abandoning ship. Will this change anything for Scopely? We're talking about all of these things and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I'm joined by my brother, Prplestiky. And if you're ready for it, Brother Purple, let him know what to do.
Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello. What is up, Valley Maniacs? Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. Hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking all about the latest in Marvel Strike Force, the hoarding, the devs handling the error, Super Skrull, the Nowhere Heist team, and a lot more. Now, is this your first time on the channel? Hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. News videos, question and answer videos, gameplay videos, everything to help you in Marvel Strike Force. But without further ado, I am joined this week by my brother Prplestiky. How are you, Brother Purple? How has your week been in Marvel Strike Force?
It's going, man. I'm doing well. Yeah, Strike Force, it's going. Some ups, some downs, but I'm still here. I'm still playing, so I feel like...
I see a little sly smile on your face as you're saying all that. Are you not really enjoying it as much as you're saying you're enjoying this game?
Listen, I love MSF. I love the community. I have a lot of fun streaming it. You know, I wish I was having a little bit more fun. I wish I enjoyed the current season of Cosmo Crucible a little bit more. I wish I had to blitz less. I don't know what to tell you. I'm having a good time. I'm still here. But
yeah, Cosmo Crucible's fun. Cosmo Crucible's fun.
Yeah.
Let's say not so fun. All right. Are you ready to know what you need to hoard this week, brother?
Absolutely. Tell me all about it.
Okay. So what you need to hoard this week. Actually, we got nothing that we have to hoard.
Seems like a trend, right? Am I going crazy, or does it seem like a trend that there may be, like, the only thing I'm hoarding now, I've actually gotten a little bit away from hoarding on my mail because I kind of need everything. Obviously, the training orbs and the gold orbs, and then I'm hoarding, like, milestone claims just to be safe. You know what I mean? Just in case something pops up. But it seems like they've gotten away from it a little bit. Am I going crazy here?
No, they're not giving us as much advance notice. So even the stuff that we're hoarding, our normal gold orbs, our training orbs, we don't have advance notice. So everybody's just hoarding stuff. I'm still hoarding my raid credits. I'm still hoarding my power cores. Not sure what they're going to do because they're not announcing a lot of these events in the future. So all we know that is coming up is we have a quick rumble blitz with the Dark Hunters. That's it. So I'm hoarding everything. So I hope you're hoarding everything as well.
Yeah, I've backed off a little bit on the mail hoarding. I won't lie to you because I've needed a lot of those resources, but I'm still hoarding all the milestones, the raid claims, the gold orbs and the training orbs. You know, they're doing that back and forth with those two things. So still hoarding, but I will say probably I've eased up a little bit more than I have in the past as far as at least mail stuff.
All right, one more reminder. ISO 8 blue level 5. Scopely, don't forget, there was this big screw up. Some players got rewarded double, some players got rewarded once, and some players got no reward. So make everybody whole, complete the community. But let's talk about what else was happening this week. And we had some good news. With the Nova Trials, it was broken, but the good thing is that the devs handled this correctly. So what they sent out, this was actually sent out right after the news video last week went out. So this is not the newest of all the info here, but we have another update on a situation regarding Nova Trial rank rewards with the intended change to the minimum point value of 400,000, but had unclear communication. So if you guys remember what happened last week during these Nova Trials, there was a leaderboard that had a minimum that was not communicated. We had an initial error that said it was supposed to be 100,000, but then we saw nothing else after that. So I guess the majority of the community was under the impression that the minimum for these rank rewards were 100,000. Upon further review, there was adjustment to the final rank payouts with extra rewards. All players that earn at least 100,000 points in a Nova Trials leaderboard are eligible to receive the rank rewards. These went out pretty much the next day. This recalculates the entire leaderboard, sends additional rewards to eligible players. The top 5,000 will receive additional duplicate red stars for Nova, which will be converted to elite credits. The process started today. Will take a few hours. This actually all should have went out already. Future iterations, this is important, Sticky. Future iterations of Nova and other trial events may have adjusted point minimum totals, but this is what they say. You'll find these communicated in blog posts and on the ranking tab of future events. Do you think we're actually going to see this stuff communicated in the future? Because they said we would get everything communicated in the future, and
we'll
sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
We'll see about that. I'm not holding my breath for clear communication. Let's just put it that way.
All right, so I don't know what they're going to do with this communication, but did you receive extra rewards, or were you someone that received the correct rewards because you were already in the top 5,000?
So I ranked on my big boy account, at least. I ranked like top 50. I think I was like 38.
Oh my goodness! You already got the correct rewards on your big boy account.
So
you didn't need to get this adjustment.
They literally just sent me another 5 red stars for them, so I just got some elite credits. So I was good, but I'm glad that, like, you know, if you're someone else that got done dirty by this, that they hopefully made you whole and you're happy with the result, because I know a lot of people were not pleased.
I got made whole by this, and my Nova is still sitting at rank 40, level 40, because I just don't have the resources to build them up right now. But yeah, I was happy when this went out, and yeah, I think this is a good precedent. And just like I said, everybody that was inside the top 5,000 got the correct rewards payout. But yeah, because there was less players that qualified for this initially, there was no ranks 1%, 2%, all the way up to like 10%. So. Yeah, it's good that they handle this correctly.
They just need to get rid of the percentages. Is that what it is? Like, do we just need to give that the boot? And
maybe, because it seems like if there's less than 10% of the players that are reaching these rewards, I think there was like 30,000 players. So if you were like right outside the top 5,000, then you were right in the 10% already. There's no other percentage. So unless they like significantly reduce the ranking rewards and the initial rank rewards that have the like hard ranks, and then adjust the percentages for the, I don't know. They need to do something, because it doesn't feel good when you should have been 1% and stuff. But they did handle this correctly, so credit to them for handling this correctly. And the other issue that they had with the blitzing last week, they handled that correctly as well. Now, Nova. Speaking of Nova, though, we got some more stars for Nova. Now, you said you got your 5th star twice for Nova. Was that the rank rewards that you got on your big boy account?
Yeah. So I got 7 yellow, 5 red from the rank rewards, I believe is it, which is great because I don't spend, so I'm not buying dark promo credits and all that. So I'm trying to, the fact that I earn those, and that's one less thing that I have to spend dark promo credits on, is a big deal for me, because those are a slow trickle to get those. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for those rank adjustments for me was I had a 3 red star Nova with the new rank rewards. Now I got a 4-star Nova, but I have not seen him in the store yet. You could get him up to 5 stars. Have you actually? You haven't seen him because you already have him at 5 stars. What have you heard? Have you heard confirmation that Nova's actually been showing up in people's stores? And I heard that it's like 1,200 credits. What are you hearing about this? I haven't had confirmation on anything. It was just all hearsay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have not heard from anyone that says, or I haven't seen any screenshots of him in stores. Not to say he's not there. I just haven't heard it. And I only have him at 4 red on my baby account, and I've not seen him in the promotion store on my baby account.
Okay.
So he's probably in there. I haven't heard or seen a screenshot or anything, confirmation one way or the other.
And I've heard it costs 1,200 credits, but again, I haven't seen that screenshot. I haven't heard definite confirmation of that cost, but that seems a little, I don't know, 1,200 seems a little low for 5 stars. So we'll see what the actual cost is. If anybody has screenshots, let me know. Share it on the server. Let me know in the comments. But there was something that I learned this morning, prplestiky. I was streaming, and there was a room in Cosmic Crucible that had Red Hulk and Nova. Did you know that both of them can apply battlefield effects if they're both on the same team?
I did, because the Nova kit, there's an allied side and an enemy side. So Nova applies it to the allied side. Yeah, so
Red Hulk applies it to the enemy, or clears it from the enemy side.
Yeah, so you can have if you have them both on your team, you can have Red Hulk apply the battlefield effect to the enemy side, and your Nova apply the battlefield effect to your allied side, so you can have them both going on at the same time. So interesting though. I feel like a lot of people would not know that.
There was a discussion on chat this morning about this.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm sharing this is because there was a discussion. It wasn't like, oh yeah, one is for the enemy, one is for allied. We had a big discussion about this because what I thought, and I thought wrong until this morning, clearing all battlefield effects, not just an allied or enemy side. I missed this allied and enemy side. So I thought both of them, as soon as they apply it, would take that off. So if you were like myself and had this mistakenly in your head, you can't have both of them on the field at the same time. But if you have a Red Hulk on the other side and you do your Nova effects and you have all your effects, well, the enemy Red Hulk will remove all that stuff. And then your Nova will remove it from the enemy's team and all that stuff. But you can't have both of them on that. So that's a quick PSA. Let's talk about the event that just ended though. And this was a tougher event than normal. We needed to get the item, the meta item for the event. And it was all the way down at milestone 24, this Stone Cold Drink Koozie, and I know a lot of people missed this. You need to spend a lot of cores and grind really hard for this. Did you get this item, or were you one of the people that thinking that this is just like a normal event and missed this?
So I do, I get the daily free energy claims and everything. I do the 50 core refreshes every day. I barely hit it on like the main big boy account, and I did not hit it on my smaller account. So I don't know if I missed some refreshes one day or a claim on the smaller account. I don't know, but I did not hit it there. And I remember as I was getting to that and I was looking at the countdown for the event, I was like, man, I'm really coming down to the wire here with getting this thing. It was significantly more difficult than I would have anticipated to get that. I don't know if their math was off or they wanted us to drain cores on campaign energy. I don't know, but they made it tough, man.
Well, didn't they give us 5,000 cores like 6 months ago? They have to drain those cores off from us, so they're wanting it to spend. We can't have that free stuff. But I got like 31,000, and I was like right outside the top 10% here, like 11. Yeah, I was right here. I was in the top 10%.
I think that's what I got too. Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of people qualified for this event, unless there was some rank minimums that we weren't aware of. But yeah, is this an indication that there's less players playing this game, that this was a event that was too hard, or people just weren't caring about this event? What is this an indication of, Purple?
I mean, I feel like it was just unnecessarily difficult. That was the feeling I'm a pretty hardcore player. And if I'm doing 50 core refreshes every day, yeah, I know there's people do 100s and stuff, but like 50 cores, like that's not too bad every single day for the campaign energy. And I barely, I got down to the wire on getting this thing. Like, I feel that's a little aggressive. Like they probably should have dialed this back. So I think it's probably a difficulty thing. Maybe they're, it's not the first time their math has been off, right? Like, I don't know what they're planning for how difficult this was supposed to be, but it seemed unusually difficult this go around. Yeah,
I spent some power cores. I opened some of those orbs. I did my refreshes. And at the last day, I was like, man, I got to spend 100 to get this stuff because I wasn't close to that. So yeah, this was a weird event. And I think they just did the math wrong. But I'm wondering if it's an indication of players leaving, because there were a few content creators that left this week we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the other event that's going on currently. This one is for Cosmo. This one, another tough one to get the item here. So you either needed to have a lot of gold orbs saved up or be willing to do a lot of blitz grinding to get some of these stuff. Now, the good thing about the blitz grind is if you have a lot of gold orbs, there's no fragments for the Cosmo orb here. There's no shards for Cosmo here. So if you're missing this, you're just missing points for this milestone here. And I guess that's a good thing. You could blitz your butt off. You could open a lot of gold orbs. You have the choice of how you want to complete this. I'm just going for this Ghost Stompers and probably not pushing too much after that. Where are you going for? There's some really good rewards down here, but is it worth opening your gold orbs and blitzing your butt off for some of these rewards?
I'm not doing the blitz thing. I'll do a couple of blind rotations a day when I happen to be on. I'll, next team attack, whatever happens. I'm so far over blitzing for so long that I can barely bring myself to do it anymore. It's just so mindless and boring. I need gold, so I will open the gold orbs and I will do the 50 refreshes for the.
You don't want this gold orb, Purple? You get like 3 more gold orbs if you blitz your butt off. You look at this. We got 1, 2, 3 gold orbs here. You could get 3 more gold orbs if you, I don't know how many blitz matches. This is this 50 rotations or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another 350,000 gold for the next 5 days of my life being wasted away.
Come on, you get the gold for free.
Yeah, no, I love it. No, I'm gonna do the 50 core refreshes on the event because I want the Cosmo shards, and I'm opening my gold orbs because this is what I've been hoarding for. And then when this is over, I'll go back to hoarding the gold orbs. But I need the gold, so I'm going to open them. And I'll do some mindless blitzing. When I happen to be on, I'll do a quick rotation if I have nothing else going on. But whatever I get, I get. I'm sure I'll probably get the monthly item. And I'm fine with that. I'm not going. Honestly, man, every time these milestones show up, I look at the last like 4 ranks, 4 milestones. And I'm just like, I know this is not for me. Like I'm not gonna get this.
I look at this. I look at the meta item. Can I get the meta item pretty easily? All right, good. If I get the meta item, I beat it. If I do more and get this stuff, I'm like, oh, I won. Right. But I'm not trying to get the rest of this stuff. It's just too much grind at this point. And But let's talk about this event, because this event itself. Let's look at the orb here and the contents of this chart here. If you look. 5 more days. Normally this run for 14 days. They had this one run for 7. If they doubled the rewards, that's fine, because now you're getting this stuff earlier. I don't think they doubled the rewards though. I think they're getting similar rewards at half the time. But have you checked out the contents of the orb itself, Purple?
I have, yeah. It's not super exciting for me. I think She-Hulk and Abomination are in there. A-Bomb's a Crucible store. She-Hulk is Blitz, I think. And there's a couple.
I farm She-Hulk every day.
Yeah.
That's more for training mass than the She-Hulk shards.
Oh, that's true.
I'm still farming every day.
I guess I do that too. Yeah, that's a good point. No, honestly, I think if you're a veteran player, you probably don't care about anything other than Cosmo and those orbs. They're not particularly exciting. Maybe it is just in my mind though. I feel like I've been getting some pretty good Cosmo drops out of there.
I have, and it should be double of what we normally get if you're calculating this correctly, right?
I doubt that they were that generous with it. There was probably like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. Like I'm sure we're probably ultimately getting less than if it ran for the full amount of time. But anecdotally, I do feel like I'm like getting more. Like it just feels like I'm getting more Cosmo shards than I would expect to get out of a normal like full length campaign. I'm not saying double, but
I feel like I'm getting more as well. Normally at the end of these event campaign missions, when I buy one offer, normally like almost at 6 stars. So if I get 5 without purchasing this character, then I'm like, all right, this is a good event campaign mission. If I don't get to 5 though, I'll be like, this sucks. And I am spending the 50s. I'll spend the 100s. I'll get through to at least that first hard campaign and all that stuff. I'm not going to blitz because it doesn't reward Cosmo shards itself, but I will spend on this campaign.
I was just going to say, ultimately, we could probably crunch the numbers, and I'm sure someone could find a reason in the actual math as to why this probably isn't as good as the old event campaigns, right? Like, I'm sure someone has that information. They can prove that. That being said, I will take whatever event campaign they'll give me. Like, this is even the worst version of this is still better than like blitzing for shard drops and fragment drops.
That is very true.
You know what I mean? Like, is it perfect? No. But it's still better than a lot of the ways the characters get released. So, we're trained to expect so little from them, I guess, that I'm happy with anything like this, but I'll take this.
Now, we do have some pretty big shard drops. I know, like, with some of the orbs event, the orbs related to the event campaign missions previously, I think sometimes we had a max of like 8 shards or something like that. We have a max of 50 shards if we get lucky. Now, the percent is only 0.5%, but we also have a 1.5% to get 20 shards of this. So it is possible to get some higher shards on the big end. I guess a low end, 2 shards each of these orbs, but the big end, you got some big possible potential of this. So hopefully you have some good RNG in this event. Hopefully you grind out this event campaign mission, and hopefully you saved up enough gold orbs that you don't have to blitz your butt off for all this stuff. Now, the other thing that we got notice of this week is Dark Dimension. We have some first time celebration rewards. This did not get announced before the Apocalypse celebration went live. We got the requirements though. These aren't new. These were previously announced. Nodes 1 and 2, no restrictions. Nodes 3 to 5 is global with no legendary characters. Nodes 6 and 10 through 8 is your cosmic characters with no legendaries. It's 9 through 11 is your city characters. So going in a little different order than some of the previous Dark Dimensions. No legendaries with this. And then you have your legendaries non-horsemen in nodes 12 and 13 and nodes 14 and 15, legendary and or apocalypse. Does this change anything for you? Have you started building any characters yet? I don't know if you have any gear 18 that you could put on any characters, but does this change anything for you?
Absolutely not. I'm not
Nothing.
even.
Okay.
I am not even looking at this, dude. I am so far away from having a single character at Gear 18. It's not even funny. We're gonna have an entirely different roster to pick from by the time I get to this. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't got the gold. Like, who has the gold to buy the G18 from the stores? I'm not buying offers for like.
Not me.
I either buy Gear 18 from the store or like, you know, I level characters and make them usable. Like it's one or the other for me. I can't do both. So Gear 18, this is not for me. Krakens and whales can have at this. Go nuts. I'm not even looking at this until I have like a solid stockpile. And I think there's a chance that, you know, it'll be a month or two away before I'm getting in there. And then I'll start planning out my first couple of teams and characters that I'm going to bring. But for now, I'm pretending like this doesn't exist and I'm just playing the game.
So we do know that the timing of Dark Dimension 6 is coming. We have the date announced. When do you think the first player will unlock Super Skrull? Will it be a month, several months after that? Will it be 6 months after that? We don't have to Donald Mack in the community anymore spending insane amounts of money. Will someone take his place? When is the first winner of Dark Dimension going to be?
I mean, if the Krakens of this game have taught me anything, it's that whatever I think it's going to be, it's a shorter time than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where there is a will, there's a way. They always want to be first. They always want to have their name in the game and get the accolades and have the character. That's the type of people that are doing this stuff, and that's cool. I give it within 2 weeks. I think we have our first
2
completion.
weeks. All right.
I give it 2 weeks, man.
That's probably about 5 weeks from now. We'll see Super Skrull in the game.
I'm saying Beta Ray Bill within 14 days. That man has this character. That's my
goodness, man! There's some insane spenders. All right, so yeah, and we'll get a bunch of first-time rewards here. First clear rewards. That player's name will be in the game. We'll have promo credits. We'll get shards of characters. We'll get blitzes. We'll get all this stuff. With all that said about Dark Dimension, do you think that the characters that we're ultimately going to be taking into Dark Dimension are actually in the game yet? Usually it's the latest, greatest characters that we take into Dark Dimension. Do we think we actually have the Dark Dimension characters in the game right now?
I mean, I think there's some solid picks already in the game that make a lot of sense, right? Like you're going to be able to bring. So Apocalypse is not a legendary character. You're going to be able to bring Apocalypse in there. The Horseman characters work incredibly well together. I think those last 2 or 3 nodes, whatever it is, legendary without the no Horseman restriction on it, right? So like that's probably what you want. Maybe some combination. Maybe you swap out Archangel for like a Nova or something. Okay. But I think we have very strong characters already in the game that I think are great picks that are going to have long-term value. Like Cosmic, for instance, Icarus and Cersei, they have Dark Dimension.
I'll ask you my first question. Are you going to build up the Eternals now? After all this time, they still have a lot of value in the game.
I'm still not building anything now. Building stuff early to me is a mistake. But that being said, Icarus and Cersei, it's like, my God, how long are they going to be meta for? They're incredible. They have Dark Dimension callouts in their kit. Like, so I think they're a great pick. And I think ultimately it's going to be that same balancing act that we always have with this stuff, where it's a mixture of like, do I want to bring in characters that are like cheap to build and I can do and spread out my uniques so that I can get in quicker? Or do I want to like potentially wait a little bit longer, spend a little bit more and bring in characters that have more long-term value outside? And I can tell you, history has always proven to us that the smarter play is you build characters with long-term value. You take a little bit longer to get through the nodes, a little bit longer to get through Dark Dimension, because you're going to get through it anyway, one way or another. And then on the other side of that, you're going to be like, man, I'm super glad I didn't bring in Shield Trooper and Sabretooth. Like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like,
Ravager Stitcher was pretty good at Dark Dimension 5, but that's anyway. So I'm kind of where you are. I have a lot of characters on my watch list. I think there's a lot of great characters that probably are going to be really good in Dark Dimension 6, but I'm not equipping any gear on them. Cersei, Icarus on my watch list. There's a few other characters on my watch list I'm thinking of bringing up, but nobody is getting any gear 18 until I actually have an abundance of that stuff to bring in. And have the characters decided.
Yeah, let the Krakens do it for us, right? Like, let them go in. They'll figure out the nuances of the nodes. They'll say, hey, I really thought this guy was going to work out, but the way this node's set up, it's just not working out. I wish I hadn't brought him. Let them suffer for
I love it.
And we'll get the feedback from that, and then we can make more informed decisions.
Let the Kraken spend their money so we can have our science. I love it. The other thing that we got announced, like I said, was a kit for Super Skrull. We also get this new exposed mechanic. And when I was reading this, I thought it was just vulnerable. I thought it was very related to ISO 8, but this is a brand new mechanic. What it says about exposed. Exposed is a new status effect that can be inflicted upon enemy characters. It's a neutral effect, treated as neither positive nor negative, like charged. Exposed has no inherent effects, but characters like Super Skrull have abilities that will react with characters inflicted with it. Exposed can only be cleared by abilities that specifically mention exposed. 2 characters currently plan to have abilities of exposed. Super Skrull being the first of them, with the second being announced in the near future. Multiple characters can benefit from an enemy inflicted with exposed. Is this an exciting new mechanic, or does this bring you some trepidation of what bugs this could bring in the game?
Well, listen, there's always going to be, the answer to both is yes. There's always going to be bugs, right? Anytime they're introducing anything new, or, just doing anything with the game, there's going to be bugs.
Or old stuff that worked for years, just breaks randomly.
Yeah. So listen, we all play MSF, we've accepted that bugs, it's never going to make sense, and they're always going to be here, and we still enjoy the game as best we can. That being said, I think the exposed thing is awesome. To me, it's like a more interesting vulnerable, right?
It is.
It's like, obviously vulnerable makes them, they take a little bit more damage. So exposed doesn't do that, but it's a trigger, right? So the opportunities for them to do interesting things that leverage and interact with exposed are pretty much endless.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting way beyond just power creep and increasing stats to make newer characters more powerful, right? Yeah. Like, you're going to have a cutoff where, like, the best characters in the game are going to interact with exposed. There's no way around it, right? I mean, this is such a potentially powerful mechanic that it's going to be like the haves and at some point it's going to be the haves and the have-nots. Like, the characters that interact and do interesting stuff and cool stuff with exposed are just going to be inherently better than the characters that don't, generally speaking. So I think it's super interesting. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Super Skrull looks absolutely insane. I think the exposed thing is super cool, and I'm excited. I think it's an interesting new mechanic, and I hope they get creative and have some fun with it.
I hope they do get creative, and they mentioned that there's a second character to be announced in the near future. We know Super Skrull's the first. Do you think the second character is going to have any relation to Super Skrull? Who do you think that second character is going to be? Just off the top of your head, I'm not sure if there's any latest data mines, any rumors going around, so this is just random guess. Who do you think that second character is going to be?
Put you
on the spot here.
I wouldn't even consider this. We need there's a rumor, I think, about possibly a raid tech team, maybe some Sinister Six. I'm going with Scorpion. He's got the venom, he's got the stinging, the piercing, the venom. Maybe, you get stung by the scorpion and now you're exposed. I don't know.
I like that. That makes sense for the character. I was going to go with another Spider-Verse character as my guess, though. I'm not going to put you on the spot and not give you a guess. I'm going to go with Null. That's going to be my guess for the second character.
Null?
That is my guess. The symbiote god Null. The character that's doing so much damage in Marvel Snap now that still has been yet to be introduced to Marvel Strike Force. I'm going to go with Null as my guess.
I like it. All
right. But Super Skrull is going to be the first character with that exposed mechanic. He starts with it on his basic. If the target has exposed, he can clear all barrier on the primary target. Immediately, I think of countering Wong with this one. Who do you think of? I mean, there's a lot of other characters on the Darkhold that have that barrier. Who do you think of with this barrier? Who is this designed to counter?
Yeah, I mean, I think Darkhold's probably the low-hanging fruit there. I don't know. That's the only thing that's really coming to mind at the moment. But barrier is a very strong mechanic. And it's not
especially if it's on Wong.
Yeah, well, especially if it's on Wong. Yeah, but it's not going away anytime soon, right? Like, barrier is going to continue to be a thing, so this is going to be something that has long-term value. But I'm absolutely looking forward to smashing Darkhold in Room 5, with this. 100%.
in like 6-8 months from now.
Oh yeah.
Not anytime soon. All right, and then we got this special. This is where he applies the expose. Big damage here. I mean, we've already went over his kits, both of us, so I'm not going to go over too much here, but he has another passive here with this expose. Enemies exposed cannot gain safeguard, deflect, or evade, does not prevent prolonging duration effects. When an enemy is exposed, is attacked. This character attacks all enemies. 5% of this character's max health and barrier for 5% of this character's max health. This kit looks insane. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this kit besides expose? What is he going to do? What is he going to counter? I mean, he looks like he's going to counter everything.
I mean, he seems like, I think Dorky kind of said it best. I was watching a sort of recap about the character. He seems like an insanely strong Dark Dimension worthy character that people are going to be excited to unlock and use, and is going to be an absolute powerhouse, but doesn't inherently from the kit look so broken that there's no way that he's just unmanageable. If you don't have him, there's nothing. Now he's going to give you a massive advantage.
I don't know. I feel already left out, and he's not even in a game yet. I want this character. I already feel like I'm in the have-nots right now.
I want him to, for sure. But like, you know what I mean? Like, like he looks susceptible to ability block. Maybe you can get ahead of him. He doesn't spawn. I don't believe he spawns with safeguard. So if you can get in there early, but he looks insanely good. I love how interesting the kit is with the exposed stuff. I love the passive, where if I think it's allied characters attack a character with exposed, he comes in and smacks him for 5% of his health. I'm sure he's going to have an insane health pool, one of the biggest in the game. That's super interesting with like
insane resistance, insane focus, everything. All his stats are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, summons, pinging that is gonna be wild. Maybe a character like Quicksilver that's taking multiple turns could be interesting with that, to trigger that. And I also really love the call out that he has to if he has villain characters or hero characters on his team, so he benefits from both. So that's super interesting. So
it seems like you need 2 of each, because he does certain effects with 2 villains, certain effects with 2 heroes. So you need 2 of each. So that's probably going to be the team that he's going to be on, some kind of hero and villain team.
And I will also say one of the things we see a lot of the times with these flagship characters like this is there's no ability to revive. This character cannot be revived. I don't see that anywhere in his kit. I don't believe that's in his kit unless I just totally missed it.
I don't remember seeing that. I'm looking at it in his passive right now, and I still don't see it.
Normally it says it, right? So like Dormammu, right? You know who can't be revived? You can't bring back, your APOCs and stuff like that. And so him, another villain character that you can add in with him. He can get the revive from Dormammu. I mean, Dormammu and Super Skrull together, I feel like it's going to be a devastating combination.
Yes.
So,
and the Horsemen as well. We got 2 Horsemen villains, 2 Horsemen heroes. Is this the kit that Apocalypse should have had?
I don't know. I can tell you, what I can tell you is having a big boy APOC myself on one of my accounts.
Oh, humble brag there. I'm jealous. I'm already jealous of you.
Listen, I didn't unlock that thing. I
That's true. We talked about this. We talked about this.
Into that big boy
talked about this in a briefing.
Yeah, so I fell into it. So
I'm still jealous. I'm still jealous.
What I can tell you is APOC, especially when you have the big boy APOC, is a devastating force of nature. So I think APOC is fine. He's probably beyond fine, honestly. And I think this is just like the next natural kind of progression, of the characters and the kits and the power creep and everything. So, I don't know. I'm excited.
Where do you think his main benefit? Arena? Taking the place of Apocalypse and using the Horsemen to dominate Arena?
Oh, dude, everywhere. Everywhere that you can use this character. Absolutely. You bring this in.
Apocalypse, Dormammu for your villains, and I don't know, Red Hulk and Rulk for your heroes.
Yeah, APOC, Red Hulk, MLF, Dormammu, and Super Skrull. Like, anywhere that you can use him, he's going to be an absolute monster.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be very good. Now, we have a maintenance going on right now. Quick 30-minute maintenance. And we're actually recording this a little earlier because of this. Now, this is happening on June 8th. The team appreciates your patience. They're not saying what this is around. They do mention Star-Lord Annihilation here. Do you think that, and they mentioned red stars, is this something going on with Star-Lord Annihilation where there's screw ups through the red stars that they're getting ahead of? What do you think this is for? Because they are not announcing what this is for. It says background processes.
Yeah. Wasn't there some stuff about privacy rights to the EU with that thing?
I forgot about that one. I forgot about that.
By default, you're opted in to share your information or something.
That was last week, though, right? So it took them a week to figure this out, if that's what this is.
They probably had a serious conversation with their lawyers, and they were like, what should we do? And the lawyers were like, emergency maintenance. What I can tell you, my minimal, ultimately, I have no idea. I seriously doubt this has something to do with just Star-Lord Annihilation. My guess is it probably has something to do with that.
That's where my head went because he's mentioned here, but your answer makes a lot more sense.
The US is pretty lax about data sharing. Like if you do anything, every company pretty much has your data. The EU does not play games with that stuff. They will crush a company with fines and all that if they're in breach of those regulations they have over there. They do not play games. So my guess is that it probably has something to do with that. They're trying to resolve it as quickly as possible. Ultimately, I have no idea, but I'm just coincidence.
No, that makes the most sense. That makes too much sense for it not to be about that.
We'll never
and usually
know,
when they're reacting, it takes about a week or so. So this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we'll never know. That's a lawyer thing behind the scenes. They're never going to tell us that.
They won't. Now, you did mention Star-Lord is coming today. And I'm wondering, what is his value going to be outside of Nowhere and outside of War? Because obviously his Nowhere team is designed to be smashing everybody in War, on offense or defense. But does he have any value outside of the Nowhere team and outside of War? Are you going to really be building up this character, pulling some serious red stars for this character?
I'm not, no.
No. Is it because his team or this character is bad in your opinion?
No. I don't think anything's bad. It's just honestly, I don't buy the character offers. So like, I'm gonna pull like some fours, maybe a 5 or something. But this, like, ultimately, it's gonna be so long before I have a character build up, a new character to like build into those red stars that I'm not going crazy for that. I think it's a great War team. I think the punch ups that they're going to be doing are going to be insane. If you care about War, then this is a character that you want. This is a team that you want. I'm not going super crazy because it's going to be a long time before I have him at a decent level to build into those red stars that I might pull anyway. But as far as value, I don't really see, as far as a standalone character, I don't really see it outside of his team. And I don't really see the team as a whole outside of War too much. Maybe if you have them build up, they could be a good filler team in Cosmic Crucible.
You're talking filler for offense or defense?
I would say filler for defense. Okay. More likely, you're probably going to put Nova with better teams. Is probably what you're going to do. But the problem with like even
Nova with Red Hulk in Room 5 would be horrible. So don't do that if you're facing me.
The problem with teams like this, where like filler teams in Cosmic Crucible, like you're not using these guys in Arena, right? It's not going to happen. You're going to use them in War. You might be able to find some niche use for them in Cosmic Crucible. The problem with Cosmic Crucible,
nothing in raids. You're not using these guys in raids.
Yeah, the problem with Cosmic Crucible even is that everything's so defined for us. Like the rooms have obvious things that you want to use there, and these guys do not have a bonus this season for anything. And even the more general rooms where like, the ultimates or you're quicker to get an ultimate, like there's just better teams to put in there already. So it's like, what do you do with them? Maybe you build them up and you don't have a better team to put in room 1 or 2 or room 1, I guess. Maybe, but probably not. So I think they're pretty much just a War team. And I think people are going to find interesting ways to use Nova outside the team.
I agree. Now, I think Star-Lord and Korg are probably the least exciting members of this team, but we also have another member that is not in the game yet in Thor Infinity Watch. And one of the big questions this morning on stream is, what is his release method going to be? I think a lot of people are anticipating this is the character on the Nowhere team that you need the most red stars for. He has a bunch of AoE attacks. He has a passive that just attacks. Is his value a little bit more than Star-Lord for you? And are you going to pull a little bit more red stars for Thor? Are you shooting for maybe 6, 5 of them for him?
I would be again, it's so long before I ever get this character up to 6 yellows for that to matter, but I would say more likely to pull a 5 or a 6 for this character than I would for Star-Lord. Just based off of the damage factor, and I'm kind of in agreement with them. He seems to be a big source of the damage on the team, and so you want that extra edge there. So I think if you're going to pull anyone on the team that you're pulling red stars for, probably not a bad idea for Thor Infinity War. Maybe pull a little bit extra for him.
Oh man, I would hope you say no. Cosmo's the best one because I got a good pull for Cosmo. But yeah, I think Thor the Infinity Watch. The damage is the big one on most teams.
But Cosmo's good though, man. If you can't get through the healer, like you're gonna have a hard time.
I like Cosmo. The cooldowns are a little long on Cosmo, but outside of that, the kit for Cosmo is very solid. Thor Infinity Watch. Now, how do you think he's going to be released? That was a big question this week. You think it's going to, obviously that's going to be an event campaign because we already have one for Cosmo. We're getting a lot of Blitz grinding that's going on right now. Is it going to be another Blitz? Is it going to be some other weird release method? What do you think we're going to have for Thor?
Well, we got our monthly with Korg, right? We have the event campaign with Cosmo. I mean,
Blitz? Is he going to be a Blitz character?
I hate to say it. I don't want to will it into an existence, but I think it's going to be that fragment on Wednesday. I think it's going to be the orb fragments. I hate it. It's the worst. I hate it. I know. I'm sorry.
Anything with Blitz, I hate. Blitz is such an unfun game mode, and my enjoyment of Marvel Strike Force actually goes up when we don't have the Blitz as much, and it goes down when we have the Blitz a lot. And 100%. We've had a lot of blitz. We've had a lot of blitzing that's going on here. All right, so that's Thor. Looks to be a good character. Looks to be a decent character. 4 red stars. Looks to be an important part of this Nowhere team. Use outside of Nowhere and outside of War though. Star-Lord doesn't have a lot. Very unexciting. Does his big AoE attacks give him some value outside of War, or is he still just on this Nowhere team only in War for you?
Nah, he's outside of his team. Nope. Listen, this is a game about synergies. You know what I mean? And just a character that does big AoE damage on their own, like having value as a standalone character. Those days are dead and gone with Rocket Raccoon and his ultimate.
Quake. Those were nice days.
Those days are dead and gone, man. It's all the synergy and how the team works together. And so outside his team, standalone, no. And as a whole, Nowhere, you're not. It's a War team that maybe you could find a little bit of use in Crucible here or there, but I think just War.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the rewards for War are better than they have been in the past, right? So like, not the worst thing in the world. It's something.
I wouldn't say they're good rewards though, but they're better than they ever have been in the past.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, we've had a couple content creators leave this week. Tana, who's been a community member for a while, does a lot of the data mines, left. So there's really nobody doing data mines anymore. And Goofy Rexy, one of my good friends, left to do comic channel. What are your thoughts on both of those content creators leaving? We had Pathfinder leave a few weeks earlier. What are your thoughts on those two, both of them leaving?
Yeah, no, it's a super bummer. It stinks, man. Like, I think the community in the game is better when you have community members and content creators making content and having discussions about the game and streaming and engaging with the community. I think it makes it more fun. Yeah. I think it's a bummer. I didn't know the Pathfinder leaving thing hit me pretty hard. He's a good buddy of mine, and I really enjoyed playing the game with him. I'm gonna miss him a lot. I don't really know Tana and Goofy that well.
I don't know Tana that well. I know he did the data mines, and that's something that community needs. And 100%. I don't know if there's anybody that's going to do that anymore. But Goofy's been a friend for a while.
Yeah, we need people like Tana and really digging into stuff and figuring out why things aren't working, because apparently Tana was doing their job for him, and I don't blame him. No one likes doing free labor, right? So I actually don't blame him for not wanting to do that. But I hope that their decision is the right decision for them. It sounds like it is. It sounds like it was their time, and I would much rather us lose some community members than them keep pushing forward and doing something that they're no longer passionate about. So I wish them both the best, and I think the community is worse off now that they're not here with us. So
what can Scopely do to reinvigorate the community? Because I think the community is showing a lot of apathy right now in the game. Content creators are leaving. What do you think Scopely needs to do to reinvigorate the community, revitalize Marvel Strike Force?
That's a bit of a loaded question, but I just
I'm be asking you a lot of tricky questions today, Purple.
Yeah, I feel like our agency, man, is everything is so dictated to us. What needs to be built, how it's to be built, what teams to use where, who's good in what rooms. Like even something like Cosmic Crucible. It started out so interesting with where it was open-ended and, we could get creative and there was general consideration, general recommendations, but you weren't pigeonholed into stuff. And even that's out the window.
Was very fun a few weeks ago with the Ultimate 32 though, with weird rules, no cookie cutter. That was awesome. I love that.
Yeah. I think maybe they're being a bit too restrictive, a bit too pigeonholy. Give us back some creativity, give us back some flexibility. As a content creator, you want to be able to come and make a video or stream and say have conversations and share ideas. And this is what I'm doing. And what are you doing? And how can we change this? How can we make this better? And when something just says, hey, for room A, you use team B, what conversation is there to have there? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think they just need to do better by us. Like, we should not be sitting here reminding them every day, every week that, hey, you owe a bunch of us blue ISO 5 because you guys screwed up and you compensated us for a portion of it. And now you're pretending like the other stuff doesn't exist.
Some players did not get compensated. Some players didn't get anything.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from it. So I never. Nothing.
And I got everything I was supposed to get. I'm still pushing for this because it needs to be fair. So it's not equal. It needs to be equal.
Yeah. Give us back our theory crafting. Let us talk and discuss, and don't tell us what we need to use. Let us figure out what we're going to use and give us interesting game modes.
Those weird teams in year one were very fun. Captain America, Black Widow, Quake. That was like the official team. Yondu thrown in there, which makes no sense in the MCU for those characters to be together. But theory craft, that's what I like. And I think the linear path that we're on right now, Arena has pretty much one team that dominates everything. Cosmic Crucible, we have to use those teams on defense. We have to use those teams on offense. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but it's pretty much the same thing, everything. The raids, pretty much cookie cutter with the limitations of these different traits right now. So they could open that up to allow more theory crafting. We just said, oh, this character's not gonna be used in Arena. This character's not gonna be used in raids. And that's because of the cookie cutters that they did in the raids. Back in the days of Doom and Ultimus, not Doom, Ultimus, we could use weather teams. Remember that crazy Tech Wing team with Scientist Supreme, that Falcon? Like, what is this weird team? And it works so well. We haven't had that in a long time. So hopefully they could bring that back, bring back the war, not have as many cookie cutters in war, in Cosmic Crucible, in the raids. I'm not sure if they can divert from the path though that they've run, because they've kind of set this in motion for years, but hopefully they can change the path. Now, a lot of content creators left, like we talked about, or 3 specifically recently. What would be the final straw for you? What would make you be like, I'm done with Marvel Strike Force?
Honestly, the only thing that is still keeping me playing the game is Cosmic Crucible, because I enjoy it so much and I have so much fun streaming it.
Nice.
That's it. And the current trajectory that it's on, I'm not like about ready to walk off the cliff on it, but like we're headed in that direction. Like I can see the cliff and I'm like, we're on that path, right? So I hope that they listen to feedback about this season and how much people liked Ultimate 32. I hope they vary up these room bonuses on a more frequent basis, and we're not doing the same stuff for months and months and months. And it's not just, you got to use Wakanda in room 4. I mean, it's not fun, man. It's not fun. And I get why they want to do it. They want to sell you the solutions. They want total and complete control. But if it's going to keep trending in this direction, I'm going to hang on as long as I can, as long as I'm enjoying it. But that'll probably be the day that I throw in the towel, is when all the joy has been sucked out of Cosmic Crucible for me. Gotcha.
So yeah, what gives me hope is that the community managers, they're listening to the content creators. They're trying to make the game a better place. They're taking all the feedback. I'm not sure if the devs are listening to the community managers is the problem though, because we've been giving them feedback for a while. They seem to understand. I'm not sure if they're not getting the message across, or that the devs that they're communicating to don't care. But it does give me hope that the community manager, at least caring, they're trying to make the game a better place. But that's about all I got. Any other thoughts you got, Purple Sticky, before we wrap this up?
No. Thank you to Goofy Rexy and Tawna and the Pathfinder Gamings and all of you guys for the incredible entertainment and content that you've provided us.
Yes.
We appreciate it. You guys have made the game more enjoyable, more fun, and a better experience. And I wish all of them and the best of luck and whatever they go on to next, man. Have fun. We'll miss you guys. And whenever if you ever want to come back, at least me, Sticky welcomes you with open arms. I'd love to see them come back one day.
I'll welcome you guys as well. Maybe not for Marvel Strike Force content if you guys aren't playing the game, but maybe for something else in the future. Maybe our paths will cross. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for still sticking around in the game that I still enjoy, at least most of the aspects of this game. And hopefully the devs will make this a fun game that they'll bring people back and reinvigorate the community. But that's about it. Purple, do you have anything coming up? Anything to promote? If you do, let everybody know where they can find you.
Find me on YouTube and Twitch, Purple Sticky. Come on over and hang out. Love to have you.
Nice. That was a fun time hanging out with Purple Sticky. The links to his channel, his Twitch channel are going to be down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Check me out on social media. Check out some of the other videos on this channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. You're ready for it. I see it.
I'm so ready.
All right, I'm not going to ask you. Hulk fist bump. Purple Sticky ValleyFlyin out. Let's go, baby. That was a